Hey guys, before you get scared off and run away because you think I'm going to sing something to you, I'm not. I just really wanted a bit of a better sound quality for this video because most of the time I'm going to be showing you pictures like this and clips like this. So what I wanted to do today was just tell the story, I guess, of Jake and my adventures in Egypt. I got back about 2 days ago and I'm really jet lagged and I'm recording this at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Sorry we didn't vlog the last trip. We were having too much fun. So we instead decided to do a recap video, just going over all the things that we did. So this might be a bit long, but it'll be an adventure. We tried to do a recap together while we were in Egypt, but we'd just been through the cocktail menu at our hotel and it looked a little bit like this.
Hello and welcome to our channel. My name is Jake.
I'm Kate.
Hi.
Hi. Really cute. Yeah. So no. So I'll start from the very beginning. So the plan was always to meet Jake at the airport in Cairo. And Jake was coming down from the Middle East to meet me in Cairo. And it was a little bit touch and go, but he made it and we met, thank God. And we had our first night at the Mena House at the pyramids. Now the Mena House is a beautiful old hotel with just the best views you could possibly imagine. And when we got there, they gave us a room upgrade. So this was our room. And yeah, we pretty much just slept that whole time. I was really jet lagged and Jake had just been traveling for like 30 hours on a bus. So we slept for about 12 hours, woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went down to breakfast. And then spent 2.5 hours at breakfast. The next day we started our tour with on-the-go tours. It was starting in Giza, but we didn't go to the pyramids that day. We did go and see the Sound and Light show that night, which is still kitsch, but still very pretty. They light up all the pyramids and it's nice. Anyway, so we actually started the tour the next day and we went to the pyramids of Giza. Yay! Bear in mind, I've been to Egypt 3 times now, but this was Jake's first trip there. So I took it upon myself to teach him as we went. And I think he's learned some stuff, but I'll get to that later. What he would be able to tell you is that the pyramids of Giza were built in the 4th dynasty, and that was approximately 2500 BC. So these things are damn old. We spent about 3 or 4 hours there, I'd say, and then we went down to Saqqara to see an even older pyramid, which was the Step Pyramid of Djoser, which was built in the 3rd dynasty. We only spent less than an hour in Saqqara, which is not enough if you want to see everything there. Then that night, we hopped on an overnight train down to Aswan, and Jake and I spent most of the night singing show tunes and trying to learn the lyrics to Hamilton. And when we got into Aswan, we spent the day going to the Aswan Dam and also the Temple of Philae, which is, it's this beautiful temple to Isis in the middle of a lake, and I wouldn't miss it if you go to Egypt. Then the next morning, the rest of the tour went to Abu Simbel at about 3 o'clock in the morning. We didn't go because A, I've been before, B, Jake is a cheapskate, and C, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, no, not on a holiday. they all did that and then came back for the afternoon, and half of the group went on a felucca and the other half of the group went and spent 3 nights on a luxury Nile cruiser. If you go to Egypt, try as much as you can to get a felucca, or at least take a ride on a felucca, because it was probably one of the highlights of our trip. We had a great crew. I should probably mention our tour guide as well, who came with us on the felucca. His name was Momo. He was fantastic, but we had a fabulous 3 days and 2 nights on that thing.
Long live the king!
I mean, because you get to do things like stopping on the bank of the Nile and just going for a swim. And, you know, spending a couple of hours just cruising up the Nile. Yeah, just do it. Then the next day, we started our tour of the temples. And over the course of the next 2 days, we went to Komombo Temple, the Temple of Edfu, Luxor Temple and Karnak Temple. They're kind of like temple siblings. There's the big scary one, there's the pretty one, there's the smart one, and there's the one that no one's really heard of. Yeah, so we went to Komombo Temple, which was a temple to the crocodile god Sobek. This is the one that no one has heard of. Everyone's tour will go to Komombo Temple because they have a crocodile museum there and people think that's cool. Then we went to the Temple of Edfu, which is the smart one, only because the Temple of Edfu is probably the most complete temple that we've got. It's a temple to Horus, and it's been around for a little while. Keep in mind, most of these temples are Greco-Roman, so they were built like late, but that doesn't mean they're any less cool. Then we went to the Temple of Luxor, which is the pretty one. We went to see that one at night, and oh my god, it's so beautiful. And then after spending a night in Luxor, we went to the Temple of Karnak, which is the big scary one. And I think by this stage, Jake was well and truly trying to learn hieroglyphs. His favourite was the Nesubiti, which is King of Upper and Lower Egypt, and I think it's because it was like an exciting shape, but also that it's absolutely everywhere, so he could spot it, which was nice. Anyway, after Karnak, we hopped on the overnight train back up to Cairo and spent another 4 days in Cairo, and spent our last day with On The Go at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, where we spent about 3 hours with the guide and then another like 2 hours with me guiding. Then we went to Khan el-Khalili, which is the big sort of bazaar, I guess, in the middle of Cairo. And then we spent the next 4 days at the Sofitel El Jazeera, which is beautiful and a really, really good location.
Help me.
So that next day we took a stroll and just went walking a little bit, and then Jake got a little bit sick, so we spent the next day in bed, just so that we would have enough strength, I guess, to go back to Saqqara and Dashur. So we picked up a driver whose name was Yusuf. He didn't speak great English, which was fun because it meant that we got to play charades. But we kept him for the next 3 days and he was great. So he took us down to Saqqara first off, and we spent the day having a look at the old tombs around Saqqara and also Unes's pyramid, and then going down to Teti's pyramid where Macquarie University has their site. We got to go into Teti's pyramid as well, which was pretty darn amazing. We went from Saqqara down to Dashur, which is where the Red Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid of Sneferu are, and Jake went into the Red Pyramid. I have done that before, and I know how many stairs there are, so I wasn't doing it again. The next day we went to Khan el-Khalili and attempted to buy presents for our friends. We had all of these big great plans and failed miserably, but anyway. Then we went to the Citadel, which we don't really know anything about, but it had a really nice view and it was quite pretty. Then the next day we went to Haggadah, and we went to a place called the Jazz Aquaviva. We got a little bit overexcited because at this place everything was free. Like everything. We might have gone a bit overboard with the alcohol. The first night we went through the cocktail list, which resulted in the recap from before. Then the next night resulted in a little bit of good old drunken karaoke.
So do you. That's why I'm in hell too. It sucks to be milk. It sucks to be me. Is there anybody here? It doesn't suck to be. It sucks to be me.
And then the next night was the night of the Long Island iced teas. But this place also had, well, the biggest water park in the Middle East. It had 50 water slides, and we ended up spending a couple of days there, which was heaps of fun. And then the rest of the time we just sort of sat by the pool, went and ate things at the cafe, which was free, or watched stuff in the room, and it was the most relaxing days I think I had apart from the days I spent on the felucca. So yeah. Then at the end of that I was getting on a flight from Hurghada to Cairo, then Cairo to Abu Dhabi, and then Abu Dhabi back to Sydney. And Jake went to Istanbul. So yeah, that was our trip. We had a flippin' amazing time, and I wish I could be back there a little bit. Oh well, I'm sure I'll be back at some point in the near future. So yeah, that was our trip. And I will leave you with this. Anyway, so we're in Hurghada now, and we've got 4 free days. So I figured we should make a sort of recap video to recap. Fucking insane! They upgraded us. What the hell?
Yes, they upgraded us to the deluxe executive suite, which had it had 4 rooms.
It did.
4 rooms.
2 bathrooms.
There's only 2 of us.
We could have held a
We
party.
don't know people here. We don't have a guest. We don't have parties.
We learned that because
I
we
know.
went to Saqqara
She's
and
been teaching me
Dashur,
everything.
and I've been a really good teacher.
Mama, I thought that I didn't like the tour, but I really liked it. Why, Mama? Why do you think I don't like tour?
It's okay. It's okay. We told Momo otherwise. And anyway, so we went to the pyramids, and it was aces. Really good.
Bye.